Hello everybody, Disciple here with Overwatch Curios. Overwatch is an ever-evolving title with content coming in from all directions like new heroes, maps, game modes, and events. In an effort to be as transparent as possible with the players, Jeff Kaplan and the Overwatch team have used mediums like gaming news articles, the Overwatch forums, video updates, and even BlizzCon itself to describe future content that they'd love to do for the game. While some of the content and features seem like wishful thinking, some of them are actually very doable and might even be in the works right now. Let's take a look at some of the future content that's likely to be included sometime in the next year. Let's get started. One sought-after feature that's present in other FPS games is a full-featured map and content editor. Some of the best maps in other games come straight from the community alongside mods and game modes tailored to those maps that make them unique and super fun to play. On the Overwatch forums, Jeff Kaplan responded to the question of a map editor pretty favorably, telling us he'd love to make the map creation tools available to the community. The main issue in giving us the ability to create custom maps and modes is the tech and tools the Overwatch team uses are just not in a state that the public can easily pick up and start editing with. The custom game engine created for Overwatch makes it particularly tricky to package and release software for the masses. Kaplan and team have been talking about ways to get those tools into our hands in the future and are very much invested in trying to make that happen someday. The question is when, and according to Kaplan, the concept would not happen very soon. Blizzard's no stranger to the power of software that users can use to make custom content, since Warcraft and Starcraft maps and mods come to mind right off the bat, and the community has come up with some amazing additions, adding new life and longevity into the game. MOBAs actually began with mods in Starcraft and Warcraft and developed into a huge sector of gaming, and I'd love to see something similar happen with Overwatch in a map editor coming maybe in the not so distant future. Fans of competitive play have been asking for something more to spend those coveted competitive points on besides golden guns, for heroes they may not even play. One suggestion was to utilize those points like we do with credits, and be able to purchase everything from skins, emotes, to sprays, and pretty much anything that you can get with credits. Kaplan responded with a pretty quick shutdown to this particular idea, saying the plan is to keep competitive points exclusive from items that you can buy with credits. However, he does add that the team is currently open to adding more content to the competitive point pool over time, in addition to just golden weapons. This actually sounds really awesome because exclusive items are something that drives competitive play just about as hard as ranking and prestige. Just like the golden weapons, we could end up seeing more weapon tints, competitive or season-specific skins, sprays, emotes, and even more that could further show off your ratings and the effort that you put into competitive play to begin with. When you load into a game and realize that the entire enemy team has golden weapons, you realize they've put in the time to get good and that you're in for a challenge this game. New items exclusive to competitive points will only boost this and help to encourage players to actually perform in competitive play, and Kaplan has made us feel very good that we could see something like this in the future. Quite possibly the most requested feature for the game has to be a full replay system. We already see something sort of like this in the highlights feature, which was added to quell some of the need for it, but we don't yet have a 100% fully featured system where players can go into a match that they previously played and move the camera about both in free cam and from player perspectives while the fight goes on. Not only would this just be a sweet feature to have, it would be absolutely invaluable to players and teams looking to improve their play by reviewing past tactics and mistakes. The Overwatch team has actually been really vocal on their desire to make this happen someday, but they tell us it's a huge amount of work to actually get something that we can use properly. The funny thing is, it's actually already a feature in the game internally for the dev team. They have an internal tool that does exactly what the player base has been asking for. The hard part is making it something that we can digest and use without a ton of tech knowledge, which is extremely time consuming and not in the immediate list of things to accomplish. The other difficulty is that internally, they don't have to give it to too many people, but if they do want to roll it out, that's 25 million players that need to be able to use this tool, which could be incredibly too intensive on the current Overwatch servers. Kaplan mentions that the roadmap has the particular team of people working more on improving and perfecting the highlights feature and other aspects of the game before diving into the replay system. Now, Overwatch is no stranger to voice acting and voice lines in the game that alert us to things going on and are very useful in a gameplay sense. And sometimes they just make us laugh or cry with their witty, sarcastic, or very personal messages. The voice lines that are most important, especially to competitive players, are the ones that signal in-game events happening, like ultimates for either team being accompanied by a voice line so you can react whether you see the ult or not. Or lines like the one Sombra shouts when she's coming out of stealth. Players have gotten used to the audio cues helping them react instantly to whatever's going on that's important. However, there's a set of voice lines that Blizzard's actually been working on that were suggested on the forums that could make life a lot easier for players fighting with or against Genji and D.Va. The ultimate block voice line. Essentially, this line would help you know if Genji reflected an ultimate or if D.Va's defense matrix ate one. This would really help players know how to react to those situations very quickly. As it is right now, it takes quite a few seconds to stop and look at the local area around the team fights to make sure if the ultimate in question actually went off, or if one of those heroes actually took care of the problem. With Genji in particular, a reflected ult can mean a sick follow-up play or denial. For example, deflecting Zarya's Graviton Surge back to the enemy team can easily be followed up with a team push to turn the tables on the fight during that match. Unfortunately, you'll only hear the enemy Zarya say Ogom Pogotovnosti instead of fire at will, so you don't expect a Zarya ult to be benefiting your own team. Luckily, these voice lines are already in the pipeline, and hopefully we'll see them very soon and see just how much impact they have on these matches when those two heroes are in them. Overwatch's Halloween Terror event back in October gave us the usual cosmetic items all themed around the holiday, but the real treat of the event was hands down Junkenstein's Revenge. The minigame put you and 3 friends or strangers against a horde of baddies coming at you in waves. Effectively a PvE mode that gets progressively more difficult and has achievements and rewards you can earn for performing well. This was a huge hit for players as Overwatch is primarily a multiplayer PvP experience. Having a bit of player versus AI thrown into the mix was a real breath of fresh air, and it left players wanting a lot more once the event ended. During the Q&A panel at BlizzCon, the Overwatch team was asked about future content like Junkenstein's Revenge and if it would ever have a permanent home in Overwatch. While the response was short, the team said they'd love to do more PvE content in the future like the Halloween event. Now we can only speculate whether or not that means a full-on game mode or just more event-based mini-games for the arcade, but the potential is absolutely amazing. You can have more wave-style mini-boss games set on a single stage, or perhaps a battle that spans multiple stages, sort of like control maps do today, where you can progress through different enemies and bosses on each one, like a dungeon in World of Warcraft or even a raid scenario. Maybe these could even have some mini story-like elements to help flesh out hero backgrounds or scenarios, or set up for future lore developments. While the team has always said it will never stray from the multiplayer PvP focus of Overwatch, tidbits of single-player or co-op modes would certainly help keep things fresh and offer another way for players to get involved and play Overwatch. In some of their best work, the Blizzard cinematics and arts departments have put together a set of animated shorts that were movie-quality entertainment aimed to shed a bit of light on the heroes and their lore and backstories. We've had several heroes already featured in these shorts, and we've learned a ton of new things about them, from the reasons they're in Overwatch to who they are as a person. Even the in-game environments that the shorts took place in changed to reflect the ongoing story. There were mentions on social media from people that didn't even know what Overwatch was or had no interest in the game at all, who started to play or at least inquire about the game because the shorts were so good. So it's no surprise that fans have been clamoring for an animated short for literally every hero since the first one debuted. During the Q&A panel at BlizzCon, the art team stated they'd love to give each hero their own animated short, but that they're doing them one at a time. This is great news. The shorts really give life to the heroes and connect them to each other, explaining just what they're doing in the first place. Alongside the shorts, comics detailing scenarios for many heroes have already been published with the same idea. Make the heroes come alive in a medium other than the game itself. These shorts and comics have already given rise to an entire subsection of the community dedicated to picking apart the pieces to form theories, speculation, and even more video content based around the slightest hints at new heroes, maps, and more. Many of these have also accompanied hero announcements and teasers that lead to brand new content for the game. There's even a hint of an upcoming show coming out starring the Overwatch characters and their universe. It's seriously a huge interwoven circle of lore, stories, interactions, and entertainment, and the Overwatch community just can't get enough. At least I know I can't. They could seriously do these all the time and I'd be pretty satisfied. So I'm excited that they're definitely going to make more animated shorts in the future. Finally, with the BlizzCon announcement of the Overwatch League, and esports organizations like ESL and Gosu Gamers picking up steam with their own tournaments, many fans have been begging for features to the tournament and competitive scenes to really fulfill the itch. Currently, we already have quite a bit of options and abilities while playing, casting, and watching tournament matches, but to really get the whole picture, new tech and features need to be added for the scene to really grow. As mentioned earlier in the video, a full replay system is pretty crucial to the tournament scene for quick replays and analysis of matches. More robust live spectator tools are also a must with the growing number of professional casters and tournaments that are popping up with even bigger and bigger prize pools. Being able to jump to a specific area on a dime, as well as effortlessly switch between heroes, teams, and objectives while maintaining viewer clarity will make the sport much better for spectators. Another feature that's being discussed in the community is an instant replay feature that could allow casters to replay the last X seconds or so of a point so that they can capture the fight from a different angle and really focus on what made the play happen or catch an ultimate or ability that they didn't get to see before. Think of it as kind of a replay light, so to speak. You could have all of the tools of a full features replay, but the ability to do it instantly in-game while you're watching. Now, we don't have an official timeline yet, but Blizzard has told us that tools and features that could enable this are going to be coming in the future. We've already got a pretty good system in place to be able to broadcast these games, but this will just make it extraordinary. So, these features are super exciting and aim to make Overwatch an even better experience for just about everyone. Some of these are probably closer than we think, and some might be soon TM, but just the fact that the dev team is poised to continue making the game better for all players is enough to keep us waiting on the edge of our seats for some of these advanced features. Well, that's just about it for me. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe for more content in the future. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.